before, our minds were put to test. From sheer will to discover to the unstoppable urge to be curious, we have conditioned ourselves to think. However, with the rise of AI, not only are we reaching a new age, but we are also reaching a new low. Are we in an AI millennia or dilemma?
Do you think you, a second question, do you think using AI helped you to understand your lesson level? Or does it make you depend on it too much? Why?
Uh, of course, it really helps me to understand more my lesson. And syempre, kapag gumagamit ako ng AI tools like ChatGPT, it always had a limitation sa paggamit kasi maaaring din ako dumepende. Usually, ayun yung mga magiging problema ng mga student na gumagamit ng AI tools.
Third question, can you share a time when AI helped you come up with new ideas or think more critically about the topic?
Uh, Siguro nung pag nagre-review ako sa mga exam ko, usually pinapa-organize ko kay ChatGPT yung reviewer ko and pinapahanap ko rin siya ng mga topic na pwede kong reviewin na maaaring makatulong sa akin na mas mapalawak pa yung pag-aaral ko at mas matulungan ako na mag-review.
Fourth question, do you feel that using AI affects your creativity or problem solving skills positively or negatively?
Of course, it really affects my performance kung sa school kasi may mga bagay na kailangan kong i-search kay ChatGPT at natutulungan niya naman ako. At minsan naman, kapag hindi ko talaga alam yung topic, may negative effect din siya sa akin kasi mas dumedepende ako kay ChatGPT at sa mga ibang AI tools na nagkakaroon ako ng love sa learning ko at hindi ko masyado nakakaral yung ibang topic dahil doon.
Last question, in your opinion, should students be encouraged or limited in their use of AI in schoolwork? How do you think it can be used responsibly?
Oo naman, nire-recommend ko yung AI tools na gamitin ng ibang mga estudyante kasi it really helps you to learn a lot and magagamit mo siya sa maraming bagay. Pero syempre lahat ng bagay na sobrang gamitin mo is may negative effects din. Kaya kailangan mo din siyang gamitin with cautions and limitations.
Thank you, Mr. Rael.
Across the globe, AI has transformed education. Personalized lessons adapt to every learner. Essays are polished, problems solved, and languages learned with a click.
Thank you for taking time with me today, Josh. I'd like to ask you a few questions about AI. First, how do you often use AI tools like ChatGPT, Grammarly, or AI image generators in your studies, and what do you usually use them for?
I often use them usually for either chem related, which requires a lot of research depending on atoms, molecules, and such. More on ther- thermo related calculations right now. Another thing would be for calculus, because sometimes it is just so difficult to understand. And so yeah, I use ChatGPT a lot usually.
Second, do you think using AI helps you understand your lessons better, or does it make you defend on much? Why?
I think it can be used, but if you rely on it for answers and not actually think about it, you are depending on it, and it can be really bad for your mental capacity. But you should use it for brainstorming and such, or if you want to learn something.
Um, for your third question, can you share a time when AI helped you come up with new ideas or think more critically about the topic?
Oh, I am right now. I'm currently making something that's like an AI, so it requires a lot of researching and trying to figure out what's wrong with the code. So it's very good to have AI on the side to learn what my mistakes were and how uh, and how exactly I should fix it. It makes me think a lot during the process, which is really fun, actually.
And fourth, do you feel that using AI affects your creativity or problem solving skills positively or negatively?
I think a little bit of both. If you use it correctly, yes. But if you depend on it, not really. Cause one time I really could not answer an assignment because I was crunching in time. So after answering the assignment, I felt really dumb the next class, which is really bad. But if I like use it for studying instead, I feel really refreshed the next day and I could really ace an exam or something like that.
So for the last question, in your opinion, should students be encouraged or limited in their use of AI in schoolworks? How do you think it can be used responsibly?
I think it depends on the student, but it should really be used responsibly. Because if you use it responsibly, it can and let you finish more tasks and get even more creative, especially when creating technology, which is currently my focus here in while I'm studying in TUP.
Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoy the question. Bye.
Convenience, speed, accuracy are all the marks of modern education. But in this rush for efficiency, something subtle begins to fade. In exchange for convenience, speed, and accuracy, we lost something precious, something that requires a little more than typing a prompt, something that requires being human, a thought. When every answer is just a command away, do we still learn how to ask the right questions? When every answer is unethically pulled from everybody else's, where does our own come from and where does it end?
So, thank you for taking the time to speak with me tonight. And would you like to introduce yourself before we start?
Hi, good evening. My name is Heaven Nicole Roberto, and I'm from TIP Manila. And my department is from Electronics Engineering.
So, our first question is, how do you use AI tools like ChatGPT, Grammarly, or AI image generators in your studies? And what do you usually use them for?
Though it's very difficult for me to acknowledge ChatGPT and other AI tools. Ginagamit ko siya mostly often, pero for other instances like projects, ideas, and other assignments, homeworks, yeah. I don't usually use it often, but I always want to get ideas from it, but I don't want to base all my work from ChatGPT itself. Yeah. Usually kasi lahat naman tayo for ChatGPT, di ba? May mga AI stuff like Gemini, CC. I don't want that. In my opinion, it's just rather as an alternative option that I want to use when it comes to my status. But when it comes to it, I just want to use my creativity, and I don't really have a hard time when it comes to AI stuff. I just want to use everything I want to innovate myself, and yeah, that's just about it.
So, do you think that using AI helps you understand your lessons better? Or does it make you depend on it too much? And why?
In this generation, I think that many students or people perhaps are too dependent on AI. And using this in my studies, it can help me preferably, but again, I always don't use it that often. Maybe when I want some ideas, and some other things to list down some stuff, but helping it my studies, I don't work like that. I prefer just doing it on my own. And when I'm having difficulties in my studies, I prefer to ask my classmates and my teachers, and that's about it. I don't suggest using AI for studies. Maybe just often, but not always. Just so that you can be focused when it comes to it when you're struggling or perhaps you're having difficulties following your lessons and maybe.
Yet, the story isn't even that of loss, but one of evolution as well as degradation, a compromise, and an extreme example of complacency. AI's existence proves that with enough perseverance and push, eventually, any moral and ethically challenging progress can be accepted.
So do you think using AI affects your creativity and problem solving skills positively or negatively?
Since often I do see my classmates using AI when it comes to creativity, I can't help but use it too, right? So my work will be more efficient and more fast, so I can submit it on time and get more grades, incentives, and such. But again, I do not suggest it. And even if I take a long time to it when it comes to creating and such, I do not want to just depend on it or use it every time. Especially when I see my classmates using AI to get creative, such as photos, drawings, even plates. Um, I do not suggest that. I prefer to just doing it on my own. Just overall, can we just like when it comes to my group mates, what if just talk about it, plan it, and getting ideas from ChatGPT, AI, and other stuff is just plain morally wrong. Especially when you see other examples in YouTube, TikToks, right? Even AI can replicate all the real things that people have created, right? So, in my opinion, it is not something you can just do. It is something that you have to create in your mind and work from it from start to from bottom.
So for our final question, in your opinion, should students be encouraged or limited in their use of AI in their schoolworks? Like, how do you think it can be used responsibly?
I'm not really saying that you shouldn't use AI since we are on a more advanced technology nowadays, especially since I'm in electronics engineering. But how do I say it? You can use AI. I'm not stopping you from that, but can help us in other ways such as getting ideas and such. But again, everything everything that we have made so far in this world has come from us, the humans itself, the people. And again, it can help us be more efficient way and think more. If I guess if we just depend on AI, guess we're just gonna be less creative when it comes everything to it. And especially when students use it in high school and college. Even right now, I'm seeing um, elementary students use AI to just do everything, and I'm really disappointed in them. But to use it responsibility, I say that they have to know it. They have to be disciplined when it comes down to it, and they have to know the disadvantages and the advantages. And yeah, just so far that's everything that I'm gonna say. But again, in conclusion, I suggest that using AI is at I'm not prohibiting you it. I just want you to all be responsible when it comes to using it, and just give ideas from your mind and be creative. That's all.
So thank you for answering our questions and thank you for taking our time.
In the contemporary world, we've taught machines to learn. Now, we have to teach ourselves how to think again. This documentary is not about AI replacing humans. Rather, it's about the human rediscovery of thought in an age of machines. Through the collective desire of far greater convenience, we have manifested something more malicious in execution, but deeply rooted in its intent to help. In exchange for less, we sacrificed more. Let this be a reminder that we are at a standstill between keeping humanity at play or forego the ethics and morals that have kept us orderly since. As we have learned since the inception of thought, moderation is key, and this one is where its application should be imposed.